Welcome to Ambrx's Strategic Reprioritization and Corporate Update conference call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. Following management's prepared remarks, we will hold a Q&A session. To ensure that we have ample time to address everyone's questions during the Q&A session, we would ask for a limit of one question and one follow-up per person. To ask a question at that time, please press star followed by 1 on your touch-tone phone. If anyone has difficulty hearing the conference call, please press star 0 for operator assistance. As a reminder, this call is being recorded today, Tuesday, October 18th, 2022. I would now like to turn the conference over to Lawrence Watts, Managing Director at Gilmartin Group. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Andrea. Joining us on the call today from Ambrx are Interim Chief Executive Officer Kate Hermans, Chief Financial Officer Sonia Nelson, and Sean Zhang, Chief Scientific Officer. Please turn to slide 2. During this conference call, management will make forward-looking statements that are subject to risks and uncertainties related to future events and/or the financial performance of the company. These forward-looking statements are based on the company's current expectations and inherently involve significant risks and uncertainties, such as, but not limited to, those discussed in the risk factors in Ambrx's annual report on Form 20-F, filed with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission on April 26, 2022, and elsewhere in Ambrx's filings and reports with the SEC. Ambrx's actual results and the timing of events could differ materially from those anticipated in such forward-looking statements as a result. With that, I will turn the call over to Kate Hermans, Interim Chief Executive Officer of Ambrx. Kate?
Thank you, Lawrence. Please, everyone, turn to slide 3. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining our call today to discuss the outcome of the strategic review of Ambrx's development pipeline, as well as some other corporate updates. In mid-August, Ambrx announced my appointment as interim CEO and the concurrent undertaking of a strategic review of the company's development pipeline. During the 2 months since that announcement, we have engaged both internal teams and external experts, including KOLs, our scientific advisory board, and a market research firm to help provide insight to help guide this outcome. I am pleased that the Ambrx's management and board have aligned on a strategic path forward for the company and have done so in an expedited manner. Importantly, the outcome of the review allows Ambrx to extend its cash runway into 2025, prioritizes our development efforts to advance first-in-class and best-in-class oncology assets, and enables us to streamline our focus. We believe the actions taken today will provide the company as an emerging biotech with the best opportunities for success in a highly competitive environment. While we had to make tough decisions during this process, Ambrx will be better positioned to capitalize on its strengths. Let me begin with the reprioritization of Ambrx's development pipeline. Ambrx has developed a highly promising technology platform that incorporates synthetic amino acids into protein within living cells. The resulting drug candidates are designed to be highly stable, and the process enables site-specific conjugation. Moving forward, we plan to focus on creating next-generation antibody-drug conjugates and other engineered therapies to modulate the immune system for a variety of oncology indications. With a streamlined approach to development, we will be better positioned to progress future engineered precision biologics, or EPBs as I'll call them going forward, through development and into the clinic. As a result of this new focused scope, Ambrx will transition from a late-stage development company to an earlier development company. Specifically, Ambrx will prioritize the development of its new lead candidate, ARX517, while seeking to out-license ARX788. Ambrx will also streamline its organization by reducing headcount by approximately 15%, with an eye on retaining and attracting key talent to support the ongoing clinical development efforts of ARX517 and our other key assets. As a further update, the company and the board are currently in discussions with final candidates to be Ambrx's permanent CEO. I would like to highlight that the changes being communicated today are fully supported by the board and represent our strategy as an organization going forward. Now please turn to slide 4. As we reprioritize our development pipeline to position ARX 517 as Ambrx's lead clinical asset, we are confident in its potential to address a significant unmet medical need in prostate cancer. This highly stable asset has the potential to be the first ADC therapy that specifically targets prostate-specific membrane antigens, or PSMA, to treat prostate cancer. I'm going to come back to speak on this program in just a few moments, but let me first turn to ARX 788. In the past year, there has been a significant shift in the HER2 metastatic breast cancer competitive landscape, which has factored significantly into the outcome of our strategic review. In markets where T-DXd is already approved, there is or will be a high unmet medical need for post-T-DXd therapies. In order to maximize the potential of 788, management and the board have collectively agreed to pause the current Ambrx-sponsored clinical trials for ARX 788, which include, at a minimum, ACE-Breast-03 and ACE-Pan-Tumor-01. Ambrx will instead now seek partners outside of China to out-license and further the development of ARX 788. In China, we will continue to leverage our strong relationship with Novocodex, which anticipates submitting a BLA for HER2 metastatic breast cancer in 2023, which we believe provides strong overall validation for ARX 788 as an asset. Please turn to slide 5. The reprioritization of Ambrx's pipeline and the streamlining of our organization will significantly improve Ambrx's cash runway, which is now expected to fund ongoing operations into 2025. Importantly, Ambrx's internal pipeline programs will now be funded through a number of key milestones. Specifically, Ambrx expects its extended cash runway to meet the following. ARX 517 is funded through its phase 1b/2. ARX 305 is funded through phase 1b/2. ARX 102 is funded through an IND filing. Please turn to slide 7. As I mentioned earlier, the HER2-positive metastatic breast cancer landscape is highly competitive, with approximately 175 ongoing clinical trials. As T-DXd continues to grow in favor with physicians, this will leave a significant unmet medical need in the post-T-DXd treatment paradigm. One of Ambrx's greatest assets has been our ability to forge strong and lasting partnerships that develop and utilize our EPVs. In the coming year, our partner in China, Novocodex, anticipates announcing several milestones, including announcing top-line phase 3 data from the ACE-Breast-02 trial, the filing of a BLA for ARX 788 in HER2 metastatic breast cancer, and announcing phase 2/3 data from the ACE-Gastric-02 trial. As the owner of rights for ARX 788 outside of China, Ambrx will evaluate these results with great interest to inform our partnering opportunities that exist for us elsewhere. Now please turn to slide 9. The reprioritization of Ambrx's pipeline positions the company to focus on our earlier stage development assets that have the greatest opportunities for success and favorable competitive profiles. Ambrx has built a powerful technology platform and has developed expertise in designing homogeneous EPVs, such as antibody-drug conjugates, or ADCs, with unmatched stability. Combining our team's in-depth industry knowledge and a new narrowed focus for our development pipeline, we believe we will be better able to progress future EPVs through development. Aligning with the new strategy, we are prioritizing the anti-PSMA ARX 517 as Ambrx's new lead asset. This ADC targets prostate cancer, which remains a meaningful indication with a de-risked target with high unmet medical need. As we look to the other development candidates in our pipeline, we intend to leverage data from Novocodex and Biopharma, which are conducting phase 1 trials in China for ARX 305 and ARX 102, which will be filed as an IND soon, to inform our future development of these programs. This strategy should allow Ambrx to leapfrog the dose discovery stage, as well as evaluate safety and efficacy signals as part of the development process, helping us to preserve cash. Please turn to slide 10. Looking at our revised development pipeline, you can immediately see that Ambrx now has a much more focused development strategy and is prioritizing 3 core programs: AMBx 517, AMBx 305, and AMBx 102. It is important to note that we have separated the internal Ambrx-sponsored trials from our pipeline of partnered programs, where Novocodex and AMAM Biopharma are conducting several clinical and preclinical studies. We remain very committed to both our internal trials and our partnerships. Our goal here is simply to simplify our communication around Ambrx-sponsored trials. In August 2021, we dosed the first patient in our ongoing phase 1A clinical trial of AMBx 517 for the treatment of PSMA-expressing tumors. Ambrx anticipates phase 1A safety data from the study in the second half of 2023. The results will enable us to move forward with a recommended phase 1b/2 dose. Regarding AMBx 305 and AMBx 102, we are waiting to analyze data readouts from our partners in China. AMBx 305 has an ongoing phase 1 clinical trial, and as I mentioned, AMBx 102 will soon be filed as an IND. As I mentioned on the previous slide, we intend to use the dosing, safety, and efficacy data from their studies to inform our internal Ambrx-sponsored trials for both programs. Now please turn to slide 11. We are excited for AMBx 517 as potentially the first PSMA targeting ADC for the treatment of prostate cancer. PSMA is a meaningful target as it is overexpressed in prostate cancers, especially in metastatic castration-resistant prostate cancer. Our preclinical studies indicate that AMBx 517 has promising anti-tumor activity with a favorable safety profile. On slide 12, what you'll see is prostate cancer is prevalent throughout the world, with more than 1.4 million new cases arising in 2020, representing an estimated $9.9 billion marketplace. AMBx 517 has the potential to be both a best-in-class and the first PSMA-targeted ADC for the treatment of metastatic castration-resistant prostate cancer and other PSMA-expressing solid tumors. Our ADC was designed to overcome the instability issues that are commonly found in conventional conjugation techniques. AMBx 517 is designed to minimize off-target toxicity caused by premature release of the cytotoxic payload into blood circulation, effectively improving the therapeutic window and drug delivery efficiency. Designed using Ambrx's EPB technology, AMBx 517 is a competitive ADC that is enabled by a site-specific, highly stable conjugation. Ambrx anticipates phase 1A data from the ongoing trial in the second half of 2023. Following the data, we will plan to rapidly identify the recommended phase 1b/2 dose and initiate the phase 1b/2 trial, with safety and efficacy signal demonstration to follow. Our extended cash runway funds development of AMBx 517 through the phase 1b/2 safety and efficacy trial. Please turn to slide 13. Ambrx's anti-CD70 ADC asset, AMBx 305, has demonstrated anti-tumor activity in a range of solid and hematologic tumors, including renal cell carcinoma and other cancers across multiple preclinical studies. Our partner Novocodex initiated a phase 1 clinical trial for AMBx 305 in China in the third quarter of this year. Ambrx now intends to follow suit with the phase 1A initiation in the U.S. in the second half of 2023, pending positive data coming from Novocodex trial. Please turn to slide 14. Continuing from the last slide, I want to highlight the opportunity we have to leverage safety and efficacy data from Novocodex recently initiated phase 1 trial for AMBx 305. Rather than duplicate efforts by running simultaneous dose finding, safety, and efficacy studies for the same asset, Ambrx will delay the initiation of our internal phase 1A clinical trial here in the U.S. until we're able to analyze the data produced by Novocodex. This will allow Ambrx to preserve cash and streamline our development efforts. We are excited about the opportunity for Ambrx 305, as it is the first and only anti-CD70 ADC in active clinical development. With CD70 expression present in 70% of renal cell carcinoma cases, there is a unique opportunity to assess the safety and efficacy of Ambrx 305 in treating these patients. As I mentioned, Ambrx anticipates initiating a phase 1A clinical trial in the United States following an analysis of data from the Novocodex-sponsored trial. Subsequently, we expect phase 1A data in the first half of 2024, followed by the initiation of a phase 1B2 trial in 2024. Please turn to slide 15. Outside of the ADC programs, but under the umbrella of engineered precision biologics for oncology, Ambrx has chosen to continue pursuing ARX102. ARX102 is a smart PEG IL-2 molecule designed to reduce IL-2R alpha binding, which has demonstrated strong preclinical anti-tumor activity in various cancer models. It is the first and only PEG IL-2 ADC expressed in mammalian cells, which is similar to the natural human IL-2. Please turn to slide 16. Similar to our strategic approach for Ambrx 305, we intend to delay the initiation of U.S. trials pending an analysis of the data from Sino Biopharma's phase 1 clinical trial of ARX102 in China. Sino Biopharma expects to file an IND by the end of the year, followed by the initiation of a phase 1 clinical trial in China in the first half of 2023. Subject to positive data from our partner, Ambrx expects to conduct a pre-IND meeting with the FDA in 2023 and subsequently to file an IND in the U.S. in 2024. Now please turn to slide 18. In closing, Ambrx's board and management have aligned on a new vision for the company. Ambrx is transitioning to become an earlier stage development company that will focus on its assets that offer the greatest opportunities for success as an emerging biotech, with a first-in-class or best-in-class approach. The narrow development scope centered around engineered precision biologics that target cancer should allow Ambrx to more readily progress future candidates into development. This strategy also allows Ambrx to seek development partners to accelerate bringing these first-in-class or best-in-class assets to commercialization. ARX517 is being prioritized as Ambrx's lead clinical asset, while the company will seek partnerships and out-licensing opportunities for ARX788 outside of China. Ambrx will be streamlined and right-sized to improve efficiency. And at the same time, we will seek to retain and attract key talent to support our earlier stage clinical development efforts. The search for a permanent CEO is ongoing with final candidates, and we look forward to providing an update to the market when a final decision has been made. As a recap of our future potential milestones, Ambrx now anticipates the following. Phase 1A safety data for ARX517 in the second half of 2023, leading to a recommended dose that would allow us to initiate a phase 1B2 trial. Second, the initiation of a phase 1A trial in ARX305 in the second half of 2023, subject to positive data from the Novocodex-sponsored trial. Third, the submission of an IND for ARX102 in the first half of 2024, subject to positive data from Sino Biopharma's trial. I really want to take this moment to again thank all of our stakeholders for your continued support. We look forward to updating you on our progress over the coming months. And with that, I will now open up the call for questions. Operator?
Thank you, Kate. We will now begin the question and answer session. To ask a question, you may press star, then 1 on your telephone keypad. If you are using a speakerphone, please pick up your handset before pressing the keys. If at any time your question has been addressed and you would like to withdraw your question, please press star, then 2. Today, our first question comes from Corinne Jenkins with Goldman Sachs. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for all of the detail here. Maybe first we could just talk about 517 and what do you think about as the target population within prostate cancer that's appropriate for a PSMA targeted ADC?
No, thank you, Corinne, for that. So as I had shared, we are really excited about AMRx 517 as a potential PSMA-targeted ADC for the treatment of prostate cancer. It is a meaningful target. It is overexpressed in prostate cancers as PSMA, especially in the metastatic castration-resistant prostate cancer space.
Okay. And I think in the past we've had maybe somewhat underwhelming responses from other PSMA-targeted ADCs. So I'm curious what you can share with respect to how this particular agent might differ and do better than the ones we've seen in the past.
John?
Yes. So the key thing that the team has analyzed the previous effort in the PSMA target ADC. What the team concluded is the therapeutic window is the main issue due to the stability of the early generation of conjugation. So based on that, Ambrx enabling technology can create a stable ADC and that it doesn't premature release the payload in plasma. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
The next question comes from Phil Nadeau of Cohen and Company. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. Thanks for taking our questions. Just a couple from us. So first, follow up on 517. Can you remind us of the design of the phase 1 study? And I know you're saying safety data in the second half of 2023. Is there any chance you could provide preliminary efficacy at that time?
So AMRx 517, as I had indicated, we're actually in the dose finding stage at this moment. And so the great news about that is we continue to be in dose finding. As you know, that means we are continuing to search for strong efficacy, but haven't really seen any safety signals of note. And so that is the current stage where we are now. And then in terms of the phase 1b/2 trial, that will obviously be a bit informed by that recommended phase 2 dose.
Great. And on the phase 1A, have you said where you are in dose escalation, where you started, and what dose you're at currently?
No, we haven't shared that publicly, I don't believe yet.
Great. Just last question from us. Thinking ahead to the efficacy data, what would you need to see to progress 517 into a pivotal trial? What do you think the hurdle rate is in terms of response rate, progression-free survival, or something else?
Yeah, I mean, I think, first and foremost, these are actually trials focused on the safety data. So we are looking, obviously, to see very little safety signal as we identify at what dose we have the strongest efficacy signal. And so, safety and tolerability is really the primary objective of the trial in this moment.
Great. Thanks for taking our questions.
Absolutely. Thank you.
The next question comes from Joel Beatty with Baird. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks for today's update. The first question is on actually AMRx 788. Could you discuss how the agent, in the data today lived up to its intended profile, and if there's any learnings from that data that can help with understanding and advancing the earlier stage programs?
Yeah, thank you for that question. So, maybe sort of I'll back into that. So our decision has not been made due to a lack of clinical success for AMRx 788. It's really a reflection of a shifting landscape and a crowded market space. That future unmet medical need, ex-China in particular, is in that post-TDXD space. We have early data that would indicate that 788 could play a very meaningful role in this patient population. It's obviously a small data set, but likewise, our partner Novocodex is expecting phase 3 data and a BLA filing in China that we're excited for and view as a very strong proof of concept for 788 going forward. And then to answer your question about how we can utilize it going forward, it is based on our novel technology, and that novel technology underpins the other EPBs that we are moving forward. So for sure, it informs the learnings. It just helps to refine our development strategies as we go forward.
Got it. Thanks. And a question on the partnerships. Could you describe whether Ambrx has any commitments to Novo Codex and the other partners going ahead?
So any commitments that we have with our partners, we will continue to honor for sure. These are partnerships that we value highly and will continue to work very collaboratively with them for all of the contractual and partnership obligations that we have.
Got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
This concludes our question and answer session. I would like to turn the conference back over to Kate Hermans for any closing remarks.
Thank you, operator. And I would really like to thank everyone for your patience over the last 2 months and for taking the time to join us this afternoon. We have built an incredible team at Ambrx with a very powerful technology platform that we believe can change the lives of people living with cancer. Although the decisions announced today were challenging, we believe that Ambrx is now positioned to best capitalize on the opportunities ahead with greater focus, leveraging our strengths as a company to deliver first-in-class and best-in-class therapeutic options. We welcome your requests for any meetings over the coming weeks. Please don't hesitate to reach out to either Sonia or Gil Martin if you'd like to schedule time. This concludes our strategic reprioritization and our corporate update conference call. Again, thank you everyone for joining us, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.
The conference has now concluded. Thank you for attending today's presentation. You may now disconnect.